We're back. The CBA podcast is back, and today we're going to be covering the 2085 draft. So what we're going to do is we have it set up in 3 different segments. Mike did the top 20 college players in the draft. Jhunt did the top 20 high school players in the draft, and I did overall positional rankings to where I think players could be very, very competent. In the CBA, around 42 players in that overall. But to start us off, since this is we're not going to be covering the league too much this week, considering we're going to be focusing on the draft. So Mike is going to give us a 3-minute rapid fire overreaction as he goes through each league, starting with the PL.
Yep. Welcome everyone. Mike here, by the way. Just a quick introduction. Jhunt, you want to say hi?
Yo.
Jhunt says yo. All right. Rapid fire. 2 minutes. I'm on the clock right now. All right. What the fuck's up with the PL? Tommy, what are you doing up there? Everyone.
Good, dude.
Yeah, no, his team is really good, and he definitely.
We're sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, he called us out about it, but what's more fun than hating on Tommy? Anyways. Moving on to, honestly, the rest of the PL is kind of performing like it's supposed to.
Yeah, Toronto, good on you for getting these predictions, pretty much crazy accurate.
Mark, nice. Also, what the fuck was that video in general instead of exporting or whatever that was? Actually, we watched the video. It was hype. Anyways, Detroit, top of the SL, no surprise. Philly and Cleveland, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing down there? Obviously, Michael's busy writing novellas, so, we can understand that. But his run differential, positive.
I mean, he has a -4 Pythag. That's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that
is really
is
tough.
kind of rough. But the SL is looking pretty tight. Boston, I think you could do a little bit better. Cincy, you're not supposed to be there. I don't know what you're doing up there, but you're performing very nice, and I like your team as well. All right, moving on to the BL. We're making good time. Dustin, yeah. Houston, yeah. Everyone else, yeah. Honestly, I thought Minnesota was going to be a little bit better.
Vancouver,
Austin,
-155.
Austin, 30 wins, bro.
30
wins, brother.
Wait, he's projected to go, if he has 30 wins right now, he's projected to get almost 90 losses.
He's 0-14.
That, 30 wins, 30, 120 losses. Yeah, he is not on track.
You know who
Yeah,
also...
but he's gotten players that are good enough to where he'll be able to... He'll win 30.
San Diego won 3 games against lefties this sim.
Wow, he was 0-20?
He was 0-19.
Wow.
He was 0-19 against lefties.
Oh
Lefty renaissance in the PL is another overreaction. Other than that, that's 2 minutes.
All right. Mike's also going to be starting with his top 20 college players.
Let me make sure. Maybe ooh, look at this sexy boy.
You're just plugging that out there.
But yeah, he's totally not for sale right now. Look at that. Let's go to the draft board. Look at the draft pool. Okay, so like
list.
we said,
Go to list. I guess it doesn't really matter, but
yeah. Like we said, I will be starting with the top 20 college players. All right, so like I said, I'm doing the college players. First, I want to start off with a few honorable mentions. You guys can look these guys up. There's some decent catchers. Honestly, right now with the catcher market, this is probably the best, these are some really good catchers, right now in 25.
Big Mike
which
Fox
is kind
guy.
of sad. Yeah, Mike Fox is actually, we'll look at Mike Fox just for a second. Because he's pretty good. I think, oh my God. He's got some good home run power, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yep, 55. He
But
looks pretty good.
Good to your scout? Your scout?
I don't want to go to my scout. They're not allowed to see what my
Oh,
scout
right,
thinks.
we're doing this.
Jesus Fallardo is one of the best scouts in the whole fucking nation.
But I mean, it's interesting. This constitutes an average, maybe an average SL catcher these days. It's pretty crazy.
Good catcher.
I think he's gonna be pretty shit, to be honest. And I just say that just because I feel like he'll stay at 40 contact. And if you try to play him in the PL, dude, he looks like Eric Hockaday right now. And Eric Hockaday, you can't even start him. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is the catcher of the. This is the catcher of the. of the league right now. All right, so we'll get right into it. We'll go to my number 20 spot, which is, who is it? Out of UConn. Let's go red. Joe Davis. Now, Joe Davis kind of looks like, Joe Davis kind of looks like a shortstop that you'd wish could have 70 infield range, but he doesn't. Again, like I think I was talking to Vancouver about this, Austin, a few days ago. But this is the type of guy that I totally expect to regress in the PL, but he'll be good for the first, 3 years, unless he gets drafted to a PL team. But love the DP, love the air. Ooh, that 60 power looks pretty nice too. But let's be honest, he's not doing anything.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. I think what scares me the most is that his past 2 college seasons, he's not been hitting well. Like I know like a 90 OPS plus in college is like still an 800 OPS plus, 800 OPS, but I just like I guess I pay attention a lot to their stats, and it just seems like if he's not even hitting above an 800 OPS in college, how is he going to hit above a 700 OPS in the PL? So I mean, it's just like, eh. I mean, the defense is sexy.
The defense is good. I was gonna ask, one thing that like me and Jhunt and I think Mike have talked about a decent amount is in this engine. It seems like 65 range can almost like work like 70 range did, and like 22 or OTP like 22 or 23. So what do you guys like? Is this like a plus shortstop, or is this like do you need 70 range to still be a plus guy?
I think it's because if you have like 65 range and then 55 everything else are lower, but it's just his error. Everything else is like 70 plus.
Yeah.
So
his efficiency would be
I think it'll work. I'm not really worried about him defensively. It's just offensively. I could see him hitting for like a 200 average in the PL. So
hey, see, Danny Espinosa is a really good example. He's putting up.
Wow.
He's putting up
1.4 zone rating.
Yeah, that's pretty good with a 60.
The efficiency is. I think it's all right?
But this is dude. What the fuck, Mark? Dude, who is this guy?
Yeah, who
is he?
Where did Tony Marin? Who that lefty who he just has?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait.
No.
It's Marion. Are you talking about Marion?
Marin.
Yeah, Marin.
Marine. Mr. Magnificent up there.
Oh my god, dude!
He is 70 outfield.
What the fuck is this? Dude, I hate this guy, Mark. Anyways, moving on.
He'd be my number 1 Colombian export.
Out of Liberty, Corey May. Now, I really like this pitcher. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the draft, and I know that's not saying much when we're looking at him.
Dude, Osei hosts some of these guys.
But, yeah, Osei does host some of these guys. He's fragile, which sucks. But that 55 movement, always and like we were talking about before, lefties reign supreme right now. Don't really like these ratings against right-handed batters. But this pitching class is not very deep. But I do think Corey May is going to go, somewhere in the mid to late first round, maybe early second round, if people don't like his scouting reports, which, who knows. But like him. Next up, speeding through, out of Ole Miss. What are they? Oh, Sean Monroe. Now, Sean Monroe is a fun guy to talk about. Because, what the fuck happened? You know what he is? He's the classic case of going to college, discovering beer and women, and just absolutely, see, this isn't true. Nah, he boozes. He's on the snooze. He smokes hella weed. He played on the fucking World Cup of Baseball. And he just regressed and his stamina went down, and I just don't know what's okay. This is
SEC schools will do that too.
That's pretty sick. But he started
5 straight saves, and we're shitting on this guy.
He started.
He probably leads the NCAA in saves.
Hey, this is the Baker Mayfield of the CBA right now.
Do you guys read into the WCB? Because I know Barefoot also played in the WCB, and I think that just means
we'll get to it.
All right.
We'll get to it. But no, definitely. I mean, he is. Oh, I thought it said Kentucky. Okay.
When they first imported the draft list, I had Sean Monroe. I think at 35 stamina. So me and V were talking about this guy could be a top 15 pick. You can maybe start him, but
I was looking a little more.
Yeah, he's definitely a reliever, and he's probably a late first round pick. One of the relievers that
I still really like him. I have his movement better than OSA, and he makes it look a lot sexier.
Yeah.
But this, This is not a very deep starting pitcher class, but I would say a very deep reliever class. If he ends up looking like OSA likes him, I might like 2 to 3 guys over him in this class.
You would like 2 to 3 guys over you.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, out of Ole Miss, another one. Let's see who it is. Oh, second best name in the draft to Ace Horny. I believe it is Grimy Tickles. Fucking grimy Tickles.
I think that's better than Ace Horny. I'm not gonna lie.
Ace Horny is perfect. I do not have Jaden. You know what? Okay, fine. I'm showing Grimy Tickles because I like his name. This is your one little tease, little peek from my scout, but he looks pretty good. He's going to be very reliable in the outfield. If you could fill out these ratings, which it looks like also like he can hit against lefties and righties, which is always good, especially in a league where there are definitely more right-handed pitchers than left-handed pitchers. Looks like just a very all-reliable, very, very startable outfielder, and I think he'll be an instant upgrade to any team.
I completely disagree here. I'm sorry. I don't want to come off like a dick.
Hey, who's the college rankings?
No, I'm sorry. But, I mean, come on. We can all discuss. Like, that's the fun part of it. I just think that
his number is 60.
I think he is like the most... If you are in the PL and you are starting a guy in the corner outfield that looks like this, your team probably sucks. Because, like, he is just so...
That's why there are 3 divisions in
the
CBA.
Okay, no, I understand that. I'm just saying, if I'm drafting guys that will work in the PL. Because for years, I've been drafting a guy like this, and I'll get to the PL, and he will be at this right here, which is just, like, the most... I mean, what is it? Like a 90 OPS plus? And I guess, I don't know. I don't really see... I'm just not a fan of Tickles.
What if he gets 55 contact and 55 gap?
Look at it. Go to his scouting. Go to his scouting real quick. I guess, I don't know. Everything is kind of just like, meh. I'm not trying to say, like, he should be, like, a third-round pick or something. I just, like, I'm just not a huge fan of Tickles, honestly.
This is not good either. Anyways,
sorry.
Moving on, out of UConn, Dustin Mulligan? That'd be funny. Mulligan. How do you spell his name?
Mulligan.
It's
Mulligan. All right, I like this guy. He looks pretty. He looks pretty interesting.
Switch hitter too.
Switch hitter. Love that power potential. Scares me a little bit that he's 20 and still has 15 contact to fill out. But his stats suggest that he performs at the level of his potential contact, and we have seen recently a lot of like 10 contact jumps or 10 stuff jumps in pitchers. Power seems like it takes a little bit longer to develop, but
and you got that work ethic for Dev Lab.
Yes, work ethic for Dev Lab. That's something that V has always been excited about, which is cool.
I've only had 1 successful Dev Lab guy.
Yep. Got to get that scouting budget up. And then, good platoon hitter, if not. But I think this guy is a high upside, good hitter. By the way, Jhunt had a good point on Grimy Tickles. But, when you got a name like Grimy Tickles, you got to put him a little high. But that was a very good point. I try to draft the same way as he was explaining. Out of Virginia, the Cavaliers, we've got Frank Price.
Whoa, this low? Are you serious?
So the reason I'm lower on Frank Price is because I do not think that he will be a plus hitter for more than like 2 years. I think he's going to be drafted by a PL team. Or a PL team is going to trade up to draft him, and I think he's going to get eaten alive in the PL. Like I think this is a perfect, like I know like Homer team whatever, but it is like classic.
Look at their
shortstop.
Though.
Like they start off good, and then maybe have another good year, and then the regression is just gonna hit crazy. If we look at the scouting, I know, like, okay, 84 sucks, but, like, we had the 55 power.
You can comfortably say you can get, like, conservatively, like, three good years that he was one of the best shortstops in the league.
I think the shortstop market is just so dry.
Yeah, like, this where positional
everybody needs a shortstop. Like, I mean, every team that's not, like, a top PL team needs a shortstop. And, like, this guy, you can slot, like, play him the first sim that you get him, and he looks like one of the better shortstops in the CBA, a top 10 shortstop in the CBA right away. Yeah. And that's being pretty conservative, like probably more like almost top 5 shortstop. So,
yeah.
I mean,
definitely high value position.
His defense is definitely.
He's from Hawaii.
Ooh,
that's pretty cool.
He does. Oh, never mind.
Damn. All right, yeah, no, he is pretty good. I'm interested
Mike,
to see.
we hate your rankings.
I'm interested to see who I have above him. Out of ECU, wait, is this who I think it is? Oh, Dustin Tellman. I like Dustin Tellman. It's interesting that I have Dustin Tellman in front of.
Exactly.
Wait, why do I have Dustin Tellman in front of Frank? He's just not as good as Frank Price. Holy shit, dude! Wow, he's just like objectively like worse in every.
That's funny.
Yeah, every single. Oh, damn.
I mean, Tillman's not bad. I feel like he's gonna regress to 65 range in like his next 3 dev reports. It just reminds me of when I drafted Baker that high, and like I don't know. Tillman can play short, but.
Yeah, he's not really much to talk about. Anyways, next guy out of Liberty, Chris Tucker. Really like Chris Tucker. If you wanted to see Tillman again,
I feel like
okay,
now we're
cool.
starting to get into like the top players.
Yeah. Who was I just talking about? Oh,
sorry, Chris Tucker.
There are 2 Chris Tuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I traded one to Denver, and he looks like he's. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. Chris Tucker, right fielder, very interesting player. Plus defender, plus hitter. He's a guy that you'd see playing in the PL. You know, like who is this right now? Is this not?
Wow. Yeah,
is this not Tuna Keys? Oh, okay. Well, he didn't have that before, but there are tons of guys that look like Chris Tucker that are doing very well in the PL. And I think he'll definitely help whoever drafts him. Definitely think that'll be a mid-round pick. Going up even further, Justin Burgett. Now, he is a very, very controversial player because he's got that 30 avoid K, and that's horrible. And OSA is starting to understand it too, putting him at a 55 potential. He's got big power. He's got a huge cock, and he likes slinging it. But obviously, he likes slinging it a little bit too much, and he's not in the batting cage working on his fucking avoid Ks.
And going back to what Jhunt was saying about college stats, kind of scares me a little bit. Like,
wow.
Like, honestly, Mike, if you drafted Burgett over Frank Price, I'd probably text you right away and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
That's why Frank Price is right here, and then this is where. What was his name? Justin Burgett?
Mm-hmm. I've definitely talked to these two about it, but I just like I hate Burgett. Like I get the power is cool, but like he hasn't. If he was hitting like 20 home runs in 200 NCAA games, it would be one thing. But he has 7 homers this season in 45 games in the NCAA. Like, can I really trust that power rating? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Burgett,
but he looks cool.
He'll probably be a first round pick.
Yeah,
but.
No, I was going to compare him to Nick Uphold, but Nick Uphold is so much better.
Yeah.
All right, next up after Frank Price from Cal State Fullerton. Cal State Fullerton is a gross team this year. I was looking through the NCAA rankings. Jeremy Bates.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy Bates, some guy from no avoid Ks to somebody who has absolutely no home run against. Oh, that's not the right guy. There's a different guy that I'm thinking about.
Jhunt might want to talk about this guy.
He's gonna. He's here. You know what? Yeah, you got it.
I guess it's mainly this development track here. I mean,
wow.
I don't want to talk about him too much.
Green.
I don't want you fuckers taking my player.
If you have a pick,
but I will say this is kind of scary. This versus left-handed batters. I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's going to end up finishing out at like 80 stuff, 65 movement, and like 50 control.
65 movement?
That's what I have him at, motherfucker.
65 movement?
Yeah, I have him at 65 movement potential.
No way.
So now that all of you guys know that, make sure to take him.
No, we're clipping this part out.
Oh, we are.
Oh my god.
I kind of want to look at the All right, I don't know how to move on to that. Oh, extreme fly ball is interesting.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit.
Like he does not give up many home runs per 9, which is, I mean, obviously
we talked about that.
He's
really
playing.
Nice.
He's playing with a fucking,
But I guess like going back to what Jhunt was saying about like you want to draft guys who are gonna be great in the PL. Like if you go to his ratings real quick, Mike. He's gonna be great against righties, but we know that there's some really top-heavy left-handed, like outfielding batters in the PL. Like, let's say he gets to like 60 stuff and 45 home runs against righties or lefties. Like, do you want him coming in the TOC to stop or something like that? I like Bates, don't get me wrong, but that's my sort of downside about him is this 25 stuff disparity between lefties and righties.
And you don't really see many specialists versus right-handed bats.
Yeah.
It's not really a thing.
But,
so, I mean, you know what? For Jeremy Bates, we'll make that a thing.
Hey, who knows? In a pinch, you could probably play him in center.
I saw that.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. He'd create whirlwinds out there. I always go the wrong way. All right, next up, out of Oregon, they're the Dead Ducks now because OSU beat them twice.
Once.
Diego Campos. Oh, I like that cat.
Yeah.
I really like this cat. Diego.
I'm surprised you have him this low. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you'll see that.
Fuck.
Now, we're kind of getting into like the top 15.
Yeah.
Grasshopper.
He was like a late top 10 for me.
He reminds me exactly of who's the third baseman you had that I just signed?
Leo Mejia.
He looks like, doesn't he look like Leo Mejia?
He looks like Leo Mejia, but
even his face looks like Leo Mejia.
he looks more like hey, no profiling racially. He looks more like John Casper, really. Because John Casper had the 60 home run power, 60 gap power, and then he had the exact same defensive ratings. And I think whoever gets Diego Campos will be sad that he'll be playing third base, but more importantly, will be happy with the longevity that Diego Campos will give you over the course of his 6 years of MLS. I really think that he'll do really well with whoever he's with, no matter what level he's at either. It'll be nice to see those ratings fill out. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario will be an insane platoon against lefties, which is all important in the PL.
Also, like going back to we're talking about his defense. Mike Albus, when I had him, had essentially this exact ratings profile, and if you go to his defensive stats, like when he was in the PL, they were like not good. Don't get me wrong, but they were like average. And he had like positive zone ratings even with 40 range, and there were 2 years in the PL where he was had like 5-ish WAR. So
moving on to the Florida Gators. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Oh God, Diego Campos is above Chris Wine. Oh, this is a sick mock draft, dude. Well, dude, it's you know what? No, he looks pretty good. No, he looks pretty good. Good batter against righties. Got a little bit to develop against lefties. Got a noodle arm, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, personality is nice. Great. But nice guys.
Florida playing him at third with the 35 arm is crazy.
Yeah, no,
they must have like a good second baseman or something. That's weird.
Or no, they're playing him at second.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't even play well at second. I could definitely see his defense regressing, which is I would say watch out for. But his stats look good. He looks like a good player. He looks like a very good player. I could definitely see him going mid to late first round. Next up, out of Arizona, Edwin Cassian.
Ooh.
Cassian. Very fun name. Very fun French name. Oh, I guess Quebecois name. But this is somebody that I think could be he's from, what is
Iowa.
IA?
Is it Iowa?
No.
Indiana.
It
Indiana.
Is Iowa.
No, it's Iowa.
I'm an idiot. I was thinking Canada. He's definitely somebody that could be a dev lab demon. You throw him in the dead lab and you get lucky. Obviously, I'm speculating.
You're talking about defense, right?
Yeah, you can get something good out of him. I think upside this guy will be like a 110 OPS plus, like 3 WAR guy in the PL. speed's always nice. Get that stealing ability up. Get those like last 3 weeks going into spring training to get that stealing ability up. He looks like a pretty good player.
I like Hansine a lot. I think our head scouts might have him better than this, but
yeah,
I think it's top.
I originally
go back real quick.
I originally mocked him in my top 15.
From this though, Jhunt, what are these big differences you see from Concien to Tickles?
I think you should go to our head scout really quick.
I don't want to show him.
Just go to head scout. I feel like I think he looks a lot better. Also, if you can play second base,
if you can play second, it's a lot. The utility goes far up.
Yeah.
But.
Well, that's another player we're giving up. Another Oregon Dead Ducks player. Brian Barclay. Brian Barclay, I really like this guy. Really, really like this guy. He's just the odd man out from the top guys in the draft. Barclay's going to be gross.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's going to be a plus outfielder, and he's already got that 60 gap and 60 power. He is literally Bobby Good right now. He's going to go straight into the... Someone buy my players! Yeah, he's good.
I'm surprised you don't have him higher, to be honest. I guess we'd have to see who else.
Yeah, we'll see. From the ball zone, Bruce Milton.
Wow.
Bruce
Milton's this
Milton.
low?
Yep. I don't know who's above him, as we know through this.
Wow.
But he's got the speed. He's avoiding them Ks. He's doing well in college because he's got financial ambition. You know, he's cool. He's slow, methodical. You know, he's doing well. 170 OPS plus, insane.
Yeah,
he's hitting.
He's a top 5 pick.
He's gross. He's Himmerton. Against righties, you love to see this. He's a fucking right-handed bat, and he bats better against righties. Like what is like this guy's a thinker. He's from buttfuck PA. His parents probably nice Christian people. He committed to Vanderbilt, Southern, Ball State. I don't know where that is. The scrotum. That was bad. Another Cal State Fullerton guy, Daniel Barefoot.
Ooh.
See, Barefoot's great. Daniel Rock and Roll Barefoot. Give me a better name other than Ace Horny and Grimy Tickles. 65 power is crazy. Love to see that. Love to see this.
God.
This is insane. That 75 power potential blurb kind of makes me a little horny too. Ace Horny. Contact looks great. Stats look great. Defense look horrible. And look at that. He can play a fucking position. First base doesn't count. I'm sorry. There's one time where I was trying to negotiate for someone. I forget. I think it was a Neil Villa, and somebody was like, I value them at like a Gold Glove positional player, and I'm like, okay, at first base it's kind of irrelevant though, because like what WAR are you really getting from first base other than hitting WAR? But yeah, I honestly do think though he's like a top 6 pick, probably. Next up, out of Arizona, another Arizona fuck. Chris Grassetti.
Oh.
Chris Grassetti, I really like Grassetti a lot. Why are there so many grasshoppers? The fuck?
Diego Campos is a grasshopper.
Looks great. I love him because he can play the ever-elusive third base position. In the CBA right now, no one can play third base well. For some reason, it used to be what you're looking for is 55 range and 70 arm, but those guys are gone. Well, or they just can't hit. I would love if that power potential filled out a little bit. Doesn't look like it. I mean, of course, he has good development here, and it's pushing it up. But 22 is that age where you get kind of scared with development. Also, you want that defense to be a little bit interesting. They're not playing him at third, but you'd want this to be a little bit better. You'd want this to be a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I'm being very critical. This guy's going to be gross.
Yeah.
And he's at a position
top
of need.
8 pick right there.
Yes.
Well, don't you have the 1-8?
Dude, I'm trying to trade the pick. Next up, Mike Wortham. I love this guy.
This guy's insane.
I love this guy.
This guy's insane.
So,
Dude,
V, would you take Milton
play
over either of these guys?
Huh?
I'm just curious. Would you take Milton over either of these guys?
I think my rankings went Wortham, Milton, and then Grissetti.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, this guy, I mean, he's got elite first base defense. You're going to get a lot of WAR at first base out of a guy like this. Great defensive stats. That was a joke, guys. Come on. Because I just shit on first base.
Oh,
okay. You can play third base. 70 contacts.
yeah.
60 power, potentially. Stats are insane.
Another WCB guy.
This guy is just, World Cup of Baseball. He's a stud. Maybe not.
Two plate appearances.
Yeah, 65 BABIP. This guy, he's the real deal. He's 70 overall already. He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, out of Gonzaga, we got Billy Irvine. Billy Irvine. What do I have first? Oh God, I just searched up Billy Irvine. I just want to go straight to here.
Yeah.
Against righties, he is an instant 1-2 on any team.
1-1 probably, right?
Well, no, I mean, Carolina and SLC and Detroit exist.
DC.
And no, I meant to say Detroit. Oh yeah, and DC.
I guess for most teams.
He's
this guy would be my ace.
Dude, he's disgusting. I don't want to look at him anymore.
Too,
you know who I do want to look at though? I want to look at John Sampson because I think John Sampson is the number 2 overall pick in this draft. There is no catcher better.
There's the Denver's guy. That's the only guy who compares. It's like Rosenblatt or something.
There is no catcher better than John Sampson. He is ready. He's ready to go. He wants to play. He's prepared to every single game, and he's prepared for the PL, which unfortunately he won't go to because he's going to go second overall.
Fortunately, you mean?
Yeah.
I just worry about that stealing ability.
No, you're right. Yeah. His
and if you need him to bunt in a critical situation.
Yeah.
Let him
No, honestly though, the one thing I hope your pitching's good because his framing's shit. That is honestly something that should be noted.
The arm and the
but you don't need good control with this guy because he'll block all those pass balls.
Yes. But if
and don't try to steal on this guy.
Yeah. Make sure you get. Yeah. No, he's good. Okay, I'm done. Who's next?
Right. Do you care if I get the chair? Or do you care about talking like?
No, okay. Not at all. I'm actually gonna go get a beer.
Okay. All right,
bye guys. I hope you guys like that really shitty top 20 in college. That changed like 3
Are these all blanked out, V?
No, let me do it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, V, go do that real quick.
Give your intro.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could just cut this out, and then once you.
Who's it?
Me?
No.
Oh, Kyrie.
Oh, it's Kyrie. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like him. This was probably back in like 2015.
Go for it, Hunt.
It looks like a Usher. All right. So now we're going to get into the fun part for me, and that's looking at the sexy underage high schoolers here. So I ranked Mike did the top 20 college players, and then I'm doing the top 20 high school players. So let's just jump in right away. A little sneak peek there, I guess. Here we go. Number 20, I have Terry Hancock. Let's see. Boom. All right. And then obviously these high school players, they're not going to look as good as the college players. So we'll quickly go through some of the bottom 10.
Quickly, tell them, because everyone, isn't filled out, they're high schoolers. How'd you make these rankings?
So, yeah, that's a great point because I wanted to talk about this. So, obviously there's going to be guys on here that are ranked higher but have, worse currents. And it's not ranking, right now, the top 20 best. It's, who I think should be drafted before. It's who I would draft. So, there's going to be guys on here that are ranked top 10 that have currents, that are 15. that are like, 35, 40, something like that. And then there's going to be guys in like the bottom 10 that look more ready to go now. But I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. It's based purely off potentials and just like who I would draft in front of the other. So first of all, it's Terry Hancock. I mean, he's only 14, which is pretty cool. You can keep him in Yaw for like 3-4 seasons.
5 years.
Yeah, you can keep him in Yaw for a while. He's a fun sort of like, he'll probably go in like the second round at some point.
Me and Mike really, really like this guy though.
Yeah, Hancock, he's pretty good. He's not bad.
Just because he can play third as well.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, but he's only 14, so a lot of development left to go with him. Okay.
I would say 14.
All right, number 19 now, Marcus Lilly. There's a lot, as you'll see, there's a lot of relievers in high school that I could all see going around like this. I just looked up Marca. I could see all going around sort of like the second round, early to mid second round. So yeah, here's who I have it. I did not really say it's 3 pitches, but at the end of the day, he only has 25 stamina. I do like Lilly. Just that stuff potential is pretty fun. He is only 19, but these velocity boosts are pretty sick. It kind of makes you pretty sure that his stuff will go up at some point. So I feel like, this guy, you draft him and put him in Dev B or Dev A and give him a couple years and he should be at least a pretty solid middle relief guy.
You should trade him to DC like
Oh,
for
boy.
like 2 years to
Yeah.
2-year loan.
in his res system, and then he'll come out looking like Malaysia.
How much pick?
Mark, help us all
How
out.
much pick capital or cash do you think he'd want for that?
Dude, I'd give him a blowy.
So yeah, okay, Marcus Lilly, number 19. I'm kind of rushing through some of these guys because they're not like that great. Like these are probably all like mid to late second rounders. So this is kind of like a Chad Porter. He's one that I kind of just like a little more, and it's just really the upside here. You're gonna be like, it doesn't look that good, but OSA has him a lot worse than I do.
Whoa.
Yeah, OSA has him a lot worse than I do, but
You got a bag.
I like his stats a lot in high school, and it's one of those where if he is able to get his stuff up and is able to just get his movement up to like 45 and everything else kind of like remains at 45 and his stuff does get up, he can start and he's got some good pitches. So he's sort of just a guy that, you like kind of take a home run chance on that, he can end up being filled out. There's a lot of guys with like high stuff potentials in the draft that I've seen that end up like their movement just ticks up 5 and then they look pretty good. So Chad Porter at 18. All right. 17 here, Kyle Clutie. I like the Kyle Clutie. I believe he's a first baseman out of Harrisburg.
Third baseman.
Third, yeah, okay. So third baseman here.
All these third basemen are first basemen.
They play him at first, yeah. I mean, he's not that good of a defender at third, but again, the dev lab does allow you to get maybe his arm up to 65. One thing that pops off the page here is definitely his high school stats. That's something that obviously you feel a little more reassured that he'll end up being able to play or end up filling out some of these potentials. He's a righty bat, which we all like too. And again, you put him relative to Dev B or Yah, where you can put him in and he should tear up those leagues. So
He's the Terrell Thomas
of Yah.
late
There's a lot of Terrell Thomases of Yah. Okay, 16, Mitch Conlon. I feel like now we're starting to get into the players that, like, I don't know, I guess will maybe be taken like early second round.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conlon, again, if he's not able to really fill any of this stuff out, then he's kind of just meh. But again, like if you're deciding between him and Tinkles, like
Tickles.
Tickles, it's kind of one of those things where like
Tickles.
I'll take Conlon before him just because he's a little bit younger, which I know some people need players now, but I'd just take him above. I'd take Conlon above just because he at least has some like plus power potential. And I guess where I'm at, I'm just drafting for ceiling more than floor. So yeah, I like Conlon a lot. He should be a pretty early second round pick.
He's a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Does he play for Buffalo or something?
No, he's from Buffalo, New York. Shout out Adam.
All right.
Ooh,
So here's kind of an example of, obviously Conlon's better than Walburn now, but Walburn looks like he could end up being a pretty elite hitter. He's only 15, and the defense is pretty scary, but I guess with the dev lab, if he can get up to like 50 range, he should be okay. So yeah, just a guy like high potentials here. Taking a flyer on him, but if you get him, it's just like a fun player to have in your system that you're paying attention to.
Great last high school year too.
Look at that. Oh,
wow.
1,200, almost a 1,300 OPS. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, I like Walburn. He's only 15, and again, relative to Ya, he should go bonkers for like 4 seasons. So you're definitely drafting his potential if you draft him. Okay, 14 here. We got another reliever, Jordan Durham. I like this guy a little bit more than the last one, just because he already has 2++ pitches. I think I have him also better, as my head scout likes him a little bit more. But he has gotten these velocity boosts, which is fun. And the stuff looks like it could be there. So, if he fills out, if his 2 pitches fill out, looks like he could be potentially, ceiling-wise, could be a stopper at some point. But, that's all if he fills out. But, yeah, I like Durham a lot. I think I will be targeting him with one of my second-round picks, unless he goes before then. But, yeah, so Durham there. All right. Number 13, we have Nick Kenny.
Wow, that's low.
I like Nick Kenny.
I guess I haven't. I might want to move him up, depending on like what Mike did with Frank Price. But I think we are starting to get into sort of the meat here of like finally looking at some guys that might be first-round draft picks. Let's look at Kenny real quick.
Nick Freefall Kenny.
Would you rather have him or May?
Yeah.
I'd rather have May personally.
Me too.
But there's no obviously Kenny looks good. I guess with him you just worry if he doesn't fill out, then he's a bad pick. If you pick him late first round and he only gets to like 45 stuff and these all kind of stay the same, he's probably not even worth playing in the PL.
Yeah, like maybe a 6 starter if you need it.
Yeah, exactly. So
non-PL.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know. Kenny looks pretty solid. Obviously I like him more than the guys I've already had below him, but it's just, I guess you just worry if he's not able to fill out. And he is already 19, which I know isn't like super old. He just turned 19, but I don't know. It's not like he's like 17 or something, and you feel like these pitches have a lot of time to develop. So I do like Kenny though. Should be like a late first, early second round pick. All right, number 12. So I feel like now we're getting into the guys that I've said this a bunch of times, but I think Peckford, it's like the high. You're drafting because you hope in like 4 seasons that they're like pretty elite hitters. I really like this. Yeah, I like this high avoid K, high power. You can sort of get away with the low gap whenever you don't strike out and you hit bombs. That's pretty sick. And he's 15 and already a 40 overall.
No, he's
relative
15.
To PL.
He's already 6'10", 210.
Yeah. So I like Peckford a lot. I think he's a guy that you can comfortably say will. I personally think he will be a PL asset someday.
65 avoid Ks being 6'10" is crazy. That strike zone is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
his speed
put him in
is immaculate.
Yeah. He's like a Giancarlo Stanton, except strikes out way less. So yeah, Peckford at 12. Number 11, we have Sean Moore. Kind of very similar to Peckford. Is just one of those guys that you really feel like is going to fill out to be a wow. You got to add that. I know you don't edit these much, but that like sound effect. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Oh, that sucked. That was not good.
I thought that was pretty good, though.
Sounds like Yoshi.
Try again.
Wow.
Too deep. But yeah, no, I mean, Sean Moore, 15 years old, already has 60 current gap. Like, that's kind of weird. But
Oh, wait, sorry.
He's going ham in 14U right now. So, again, one of those guys you put in Ya, and you take a flyer on and be like, hey, I think this guy in a few seasons will be like, how was this guy taken in the second round? He looks sick. So, yeah, I like Moore a lot. I think if you took him in the late first, I really wouldn't blame you if you're a team that is tanking. All right, number 10, we have Magana. We've talked a lot about this guy. I feel like we've talked about Magana. We really like Magana.
The weird part about him is like this control potential. I don't really understand like the mechanics of this. Like, how do you project him to have? How does he currently have like 55 control? But like the projection, like someday he'll have really really good control. That kind of scares me. I feel like that could stick around at like 55.
He throws one walk through per 9. He went from 3 to 2 to 1.
Yeah, that's something fun to look at. Like the development track looks really good with Magana.
That rotator cuff strain. We see a lot of pitchers out like 6 to 7 months with rotator cuff stuff. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Recovery time
No, they do
He's
not.
dead. Yeah. Don't take him. He's Jonathan Wade.
I think I can comfortably say like Magana could be a late first round pick, and I wouldn't blame you for taking him there. If he can fill out this curveball, then he'd look pretty sick, I would assume.
I will say I think these low home run against cats are fugazi.
I feel like
for relievers, like 50-55.
That's all I'm gonna say though. They're fugazi.
Yeah, I guess if he gets his stuff up, then I mean, he's only averaging he had 0 home runs per 9 this past season, so. His stats are wicked in this season. In 16 innings, a 27 FIP minus.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Insane.
All right, top 10. Well, I guess we got.
Wait. Can we do a halftime intermission report from Jhunt? Can you go to OTP? Speaking of crazy 18-year-olds, can you look up MACLELL? So this guy is in the '88 draft.
Which one?
That first one.
Look at him.
Oh. Wait.
Okay.
No.
12 years old.
Go to Head Scout. He's 12, and he has 80 home run power. Everyone in the league, eat your fucking heart out, because Tim Coma McClellan
at 12 years old,
age 12, is better than all you cats. Anyways, we can continue.
No, that is funny. I'm glad you pulled that up.
Go to buy it, OSA.
He has the most power in the entire OTP 25 CBA at 12 years old.
Dude, we gotta talk to that guy who made it.
We all completely ignored the very low scouting accuracy on him, but
that's not fun.
All right. I put a question mark here for Dan Richards because at number 9, Dan Richards, I don't know if he can really play second, which is, I mean, he probably can play second, but it's not going to be good. The Sabretooth here, OSA likes him a lot. But yeah, Dan Richards, a very good player, very good. That high power and high eye for a second baseman is pretty rare, and it's just the defense really. Like, you know, if you draft him, it's kind of like, where do you play him? You play him at second, he's probably gonna suck.
You can't play that cat at second.
Yeah, I mean,
do you go to his ratings?
You can, but like this rating page.
Like physically, you can, but like you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I think I have him at 50 range, but. Yeah, he walked in too. Okay, all right. Dan Richards. I'm sure a lot of you guys really like Dan Richards. He's probably going to be a first-round pick. So
still great hitting profile.
Maybe put him in the dev lab and see if he can get that defense up. All right, number 8, a guy I have extensively talked about that I really like. Someone that I think if you had him in your system, it would just a fun guy to have in your system. Like a starting pitcher that has this plus stuff and plus control potential I really like, and also his high school stats sort of reflect how good he is.
Yeah, those Ks per 9 are crazy.
Yeah, over 13 and a half Ks per 9. He does give up the home run ball clearly. So that's, I mean, 25 current home runs against is not anything like that. That's pretty scary, but it's just like there's not a lot of good starting pitching in this draft, and you could hit a home run with a guy like Hal. And, you know, if you take him in the early second, late first, he could be a guy in a few seasons that is a possible ace. So I just really like the upside with Hal.
I say upside of Hal is Billy Irvine. I know he doesn't have as many pitches, but I really do think that if RN Jesus really like just blesses this guy, you know, he does like taking a chance, you know, often cleans up during the clubhouse poker games. Really think that he could be one of the steals of the draft, taking it like
clubhouse poker games when he's 17.
Like the 117 or something.
Yeah. I mean, if he fills out to like 65, 70 stuff with like 55 control and 45 home runs against, I guess you're satisfied with that, and you would start him in your rotation in the PL. So, yeah, that's who I have at number 8. I like his upside more than Richards. All right, number 7 now is we have Jules Stamper.
He's an interesting one.
So Stamper is just a guy that I feel like is in a few years, once he develops. I just think he's on a good development track. Already a 40 overall, 17 years old. The currents are kind of there with being 17. Like, there's a lot of international free agents that are 17 or 16 that aren't anywhere currently close to this. Great plus defender in left. His hitting stats, his 16U stats are off the charts. And I care about this, but he's got that number 3 prospect ranking. So I just really like Stamper. I think if you are tanking, he's a guy that you would target to draft in like the late first, or you would probably wouldn't have a late first, but just someone that if you're just someone to take. Anyway, number 6 above Stamper is Jeremy Hopkins.
Wait, also before this, if anyone's interested, I'm drinking a Paulaner Munchen Salvatore Double Bock Lager, 7.9%.
Ooh, it's like an IPA almost.
No, it's not. It's dark. It's a dark beer.
All right, enough of Mike's dark beer. Now let me get a taste.
Oh, not enough of Mike's dark beer.
Yeah,
Everyone's sucking on Mike's dark beer.
It's pretty good. It's got a good bite, right?
It's got a full flavor profile. That's
Gonna put some hair on my chest.
Is this how you spell it? Jeremy?
Jeremy.
I'll just spell Hopkins. God damn it! Too many Hopkins.
Wait, isn't Jeremy Hopkins the guy who played Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs?
Multi-talented.
Anthony Hopkins.
It's his brother though, right?
Yeah.
Or his son. His
Jeremy
son.
Lucifer. Yes. He's black. People can marry other races.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy Hopkins. I think he's one of the better second basemen in the draft, and possible leadoff hitter with the 65 stealing ability. His stats, everything looks good with him. His batting profile looks good. If he gets any of these to blue, that's even better. You hope he does. At least get the 55 BABIP, 55 contact, maybe 55 power. I don't know. 60 gap. Good defensively, good speed, good contact.
Plus defender.
Yeah, plus defender. And then also his stats look good. They look like he is going to be a good PL player. So yeah, Hopkins at 6.
I like him more than Wyand.
Me too. I
disagree with that statement.
It's funny. I asked Bob, Duncan, and Choco, Miami, all who they like more out of Hopkins and why, and they all said Hopkins.
Wow.
I mean, I think it's pretty. I think
that's
it's
why
Hopkins.
Bob and Carolina specifically aren't good GMs in this league.
Yeah, no. Bob, he sucks. And then.
Can you let Remy out?
Oh, that was a cat. And then Duncan can't get out of that 5th spot in the PL. Mm-hmm. So. Ooh, Seth.
So
Evans.
actually, I would have Hopkins over Ives, but I would have Ives 6. It'd be Ives then Hopkins. I've actually gone back and forth between Hopkins and Ives, but Ives, I think this is the final guy that's like the currents aren't there. But I think out of all of those, I think Ives looks like he will be legit someday. Like he, in a few seasons, like when he's 20 years old, you'll be able to pull him up and. If he gets to the 65 BABIP, and if he just gets to 65 BABIP, like that alone is pretty sick with these power and eye potentials. He can play left, not well, but he can play left. So, yeah, Ives is someone that I think should be taken in the first round. If he's not, then I would be very surprised. But out of all like those 17 and younger guys, the ones that aren't really filled out, Ives does look like the best one out of all of them. So, yeah, I really like Ives, and I have him top 5.
One would say he looks kind of supple.
One could say that.
I thought his nickname was going to be supple or something, and then it wasn't.
No, that's just the word of the minors, remember?
Right in front of him, McKinney.
Wow. I want to see who you have above him.
There's a lot of good high school players in these top 3. Yeah, so Eddie McKinney. OSA loves McKinney. This is pretty crazy.
50 overall already, too.
Yeah.
60 power.
19 years old. Look at his stats right now. He has.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, in this amount of games, this is like a third of our season, so that's like almost 8 WAR. He'd be on pace for it, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, McKinney should be a top 15 pick. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't.
I'd be surprised if he wasn't like top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably go around 10, but yeah, McKinney looks like he's going to be very solid. One of the better corner outfielders in the CBA. Defense is good. It's fine. And then, yeah, just has a pretty insane hitting profile. The high BABIP and high power are definitely two things that I think we all really like. So, yeah, McKinney looks like, really, really good. We all like McKinney.
One more interjection,
yeah,
and then I'll stop. Roman English reached his 750th strikeout this sim.
Wow.
That's
Clap it up for Roman English.
Roman English.
Remember Roman English in like OTP 24?
Oh,
yeah, he's sick.
He was like
80, 75, and then he was just wrecked.
Yeah.
That was the only issue.
You just play like 20 innings every season.
Yeah, with like his 20 stamina.
I blame Bob for that, honestly. Probably Bob's fault.
Okay, let's get into the top 3. Moving along.
By the way, I like you, Tommy. I love you, Tommy. I was just bantering at the beginning of the podcast.
All right. Number 3, Ken
Garski.
Garski. Yeah, Garski looks like probably the best second baseman in the draft. The power is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think our head scouts all like him a little bit more.
Gap too.
Yeah. So his high school stats are pretty off the charts. Looks like he can play a really good second base, like a pretty elite defensively at second.
Throw him at third if you want to.
Yeah, definitely could.
Or he could be an elite first baseman. Give you a lot of WAR at first.
We've got some speed as well. Has 15 steals this season. It's pretty rare to find a good defensive second baseman with this much power, and that's what Garski is. So I expect Garski to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
He's really, really good, and he can hit against both righties and lefties. So, yeah, Garski definitely one of the premier players in this draft. All right, the top 2 now. At number 2, we have Chris Murray.
Ooh.
I love this guy.
Yeah, I think
Yummy,
I have Chris Murray personally as my number 2 overall player in this draft.
Wow.
I
don't hate it.
I don't think it's crazy.
I have him at my 4.
Yeah, I mean,
he probably could play center too.
Yeah, I mean, if you put him in the dev lab and he gets up to 70 range, he's the best center fielder in the game. Am I wrong?
That's something that happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah, but still, even with 65 range.
I do think we put him in the dev lab a little too liberally, but even still, he can be an average. A lot of times, 65 range is accruing a 2 to 3 zone rating, even in the PL.
Mm-hmm.
For second baseman, it works, because it's just not as difficult of a position as center fielder. But for center fielder and shortstop, unless you already have some really good ratings, it's going to be hard to take you from average to good or from below average to average. But if you're bad, you can get up to right where below average is or average. But this is one of those scenarios where I'd be a little bit more skeptical. But I love this guy. I'll let Jhunt continue.
19 years old with these currents and some higher potentials to go. I could honestly see him being one of the best players in the CBA in a few seasons. There's no doubt in my mind that he will be a really, really 4 WAR player in the PL. So yeah, I like Murray a lot. 80i potential with this there's nothing to not like about him.
Yeah, he's getting on base over half the time right now in 18U.
Yeah.
That is, and this is for multiple seasons now too. This is crazy.
Yeah, good speed as well. Probably can lead off for you. So yeah, that's my number 2. I think we all know who number 1 is gonna be.
Yummy.
The number 1 pick in the draft.
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh fuck. I don't think I have his name in there. We all know who I'm talking. Oh, there we go. Matt Kirk. And honestly, while I was making this ranking here, I didn't even realize that Kirk was in high school. I didn't realize that Kirk was still 19 years old, which is just stupid.
Imagine Maxo City pulling him up, even if he wants in 2 years with his team that he has right now.
I think he'll pull him up
for
next year.
Probably head scout for him.
Okay.
Because he's consensus number 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yummy.
You gotta just go
Oh
to the
my
ratings
God.
page. Just go to the ratings page. Let's see it all in one shot.
Look at all this green.
And blue.
Oh
and
my
blue.
god! And even his pitches. Sorry, you go for it, Jay Hunt.
No, go ahead. Go
Dude,
ahead.
his pitches.
His pitches are
for.
gross. Which like makes you think that like that stuff potential is gonna go up.
Yeah.
80 stuff potential already with green everywhere else
Mhm.
is insane. And he can actually like he's he'd be a plus defender at third.
Dude, he could play first. He could play second. He could play third.
He could play.
Left,
Yeah, he
could
could play every
right.
position.
He could play pitcher. Like he can play everywhere, but like 2 or 3 places in the field.
And we haven't even
be plus at.
we haven't even talked about the fact that he looks like a gross hitter too.
Yeah.
Like he looks like to be one of the better offensive second basemen in the league.
This should be a fun
Or
experiment.
third base.
If he,
Would you rather have Wyand or him?
I was gonna say something
As a
like
hitter.
that too. Yeah.
As just pure hitting
I would
hitting
rather have
ratings.
him than
I'd
Wyand.
rather have Kurt.
Well, yeah. If he didn't pitch, where would you guys have him?
Probably like
118.
around the below Hopkins, above Wyan probably as a
Mhm.
second baseman. So yeah, I mean, just as a hitter, he's probably a top 15 pick, and as a pitcher, he's a top 3 pick. So I don't think. I mean, there hasn't been anybody in the history of the CBA that can actually play both well, right? Like
No, not that I remember.
No.
There were like R.J. Davis or something.
Yeah, but
R.J. Wallace.
Wallace though was
yeah.
not that. Like, did he even play both?
Not well.
Yeah.
And then there was like Cleveland, like Ben Kist, like was a decent reliever in the BL.
Oh, Mark had one when I first joined the league. I forget his name. I know, yeah, Mark. If you're watching, you know who I'm talking about. Not Reyes, but it's someone. You know who I'm talking about. You had a two-way
Arturo?
player. Yeah, it wasn't him. It was someone. Mark had someone that was a two-way player that was pretty good. Mark, you know who I'm talking about. It was just a long time ago.
Dustin, I'm speaking specifically to you. I know you are smart enough to know what to do with this guy. Please make him do what we all want him to do. You know what I mean?
I'm happy that like he's playing. I'm happy that
Yeah.
he's going to someone like Dustin.
He'll be fun to
who
watch.
knows exactly what to do with Matt Kirk to you. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this is if like
Or trade your pick to me.
yeah.
It's funny. He's the number 2 prospect. They have a Murray above him in the prospect ranking. But anyway, so yeah, let's just go back. Here is the full list of the top 20 high school players. Read it and weep. What's that saying? Read it. And
Yeah,
weep
read
it?
and weep.
Read it and weep, baby.
So now we got positional rankings, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And you want to describe that logger real quick?
This is a good old Labatt Blue, heavy.
Sorry, not a logger.
None of that light shit. A Canadian Pilsner. This is the best beer money can buy for beer under $5.
There we go. So these are the
At a
positional
bar.
these are the
Costco,
positional
I think.
rankings that I'm doing. We decided not to, much to my chagrin, like reveal our full sort of extensive mocks, and it makes sense. Jay Hunt has like 3 firsts and 7 seconds or something like that, and doesn't want people knowing exactly where like the players he's targeting at his positions and things like that. But the sort of compromise we went through here is everyone in red that you see like here. These are people who I think are going to be in the second round, and everyone in black are who I project to be first round picks. And these are in order of like their actual positional ranking. So I think Samson's the number 1 catcher, Ryden Berg or something like that is the number 2, so on and so forth. So to start at catchers, obviously we have someone like Samson. We already looked at him. But I have Ryden, let's see what his last name is, as my number 2 catcher in this draft. And catcher, as we already talked about, is one of like the more thin positions in the CBA. And we're not getting great catcher prospects in this pool.
I really like this guy.
I really like this guy too. I think he can be not a great hitter, obviously. His potentials don't even go to that. But with this defense, this sort of catcher, could be at a ceiling a top 10 catcher in the CBA. And if you're able to get that in the second round, you take that. But I went back and forth between Ryden and Mike Fox here. who I think like you can take either one of these guys, and I wouldn't be mad at you over the other one. I have riding over Mike Fox strictly because of the defense, and I think the hitting is somewhat similar, even though Fox can get better power and eye. But Fox's college stats this year do scare me a little bit, and again, just not very a deep catcher pool. The only other two people I have down who I think are like worth noting are Joe Valzuena. No.
I was about to say
Valen.
I actually like this dude more than the last two he's talked about. Just personally. Just the high contact.
Oh, we're on your scale.
Ew.
There we go. OSA likes him a lot better. But yeah, he can't even play catcher. He's a glorified first baseman who can maybe play catcher in a pinch.
Sixth round pick. Fifth round pick.
I'm gonna drop him in the third if he's there.
And then Nate Gorman is the only other one that we haven't looked at.
Whoa!
You know what? I'd put Gorman over. I'd put Gorman.
wait.
Over
Go back. What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Okay.
Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes.
Nate Gorman from Los Angeles. Okay, from Chinatown. But like the avoid K is crazy. The catcher arm is crazy. Like I don't like this. I don't what. The batting average is crazy. I don't understand what's wrong with this kid. Like, what is he doing?
He is in the bottom of this catcher pool that I think is worth noting. So it doesn't get any better from here. Like, yeah, this isn't a good catcher draft except for the best catcher in the CBA.
Yes.
And then so we've already going to first base when we've already talked about Wortham, Barefoot. I have Burgett in front of Malugin and Ives just because I don't think that you find players. I have him at 70 power already, and we talked a lot about like, oh, he can dev up. If this guy devs up a little bit and even gets to 45 contact, I think he can be a great. Like, how many people have 70? Like,
I just don't think it's real. Like, I just think that.
But you can make that. You can make that sort of argument for anything. You know.
Well, I'm just basing it off of his stats in college. Like, it just doesn't add up.
But as far as like true first baseman go, I guess Wortham isn't a true first baseman.
I'd have Ives over Malagoon and
Burgett. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not as big of a believer in Ives. But then
the position rankings or the top 20 high school players on Jam.
All right.
We already talked about Kyle Klude as well, so I won't show him. And we talked about Peckford. The only other guy I think is worth noting here in this first baseman is Austin. I already forgot his last name.
Wait, Austin Russell?
Yeah.
Oh, he's good, dude. I'm glad you don't have him on here. Yeah.
I do have him on here. I don't think I didn't know if you guys did.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But yeah, there's this guy. You know.
Like that. Wait. He should have been in my college. Oh, that's why.
He can't play a single. He won't even accrue WAR at first base, Mike.
He's such a but he's such a platoon. He's a DH.
No, he'll be a DH. Yeah,
exactly.
You know
what I'd rather have.
And he is lefty, so he can't hit against lefties at all. And his currents kind of show what he has against righties. He's not great, but I don't know, like mid to late second, you grab this guy and he's playable.
Yeah. That's David Wilkerson.
I think someone will take him in the first. I'm not even lying.
Really? I don't think he's worth the first.
I don't
but
think he is either,
just utility wise.
Someone will see this and be like,
"Ooh, look at that! Look at that potential."
But yeah, just thought he was worth noting. Going to second base, obviously we had Garski. I had Concien and then Wyant and then Hopkins and then Richards. I have these first base against Richards and Concien.
Dude, I could even see Hopkins above Concien too.
Yeah, no, I can 100%. I can see you put these three in any order. I just like my scout really like Concien's hitting compared to OSA, but we've talked about them. That's what I have that ranking at. All of these interchangeable, except Wyand over Hopkins, obviously. Talked about Richards as well. The only one I thought worth noting was Dave Boyer, and I don't know, like you look at this guy, decent like base running, a plus defender at second. Do I think he can play outside of the BL productively? No. But, I don't know. With this defense and some green and his hitting already, I just think he's worth noting.
I think he's like a really good like bench. Like you put him in backup second base, backup shortstop, like a backup middle infielder. Like he's a pretty good one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and he can play any like first base, second base, or third base. So he's someone who you can have on your 26. Going to third base, I think Chris Cassetti. I guess if I have Cassetti here, you can throw Barefoot up here as well. But I have Cassetti and then Campos, And then we talked about Terry Hancock already from Jhunt in his high school draft. I really like Hancock, even though it's all arbitrary. I can't really say I don't like Ives and like Hancock. That doesn't really make any sense. But the other 2 third basemen I think are worth looking at are David League, and I think this guy could fill out and be pretty solid. You know, we talked a lot about like with Jhunt and Mike, like, oh, if this guy fills out, we can see him being like, you know, let's say even a 2.5 WAR player in the BL. I mean, if this guy fills out, he has no power, which OTP 25 hates. Like, he would just not get good OPS plus, and we can see that right here in his high school stats. But this is all green. He can develop a decent eye. He can at least probably get on base. Maybe he'll be a weak ground ball hitter with this high avoid K, high eye, and maybe not enough BABIP. But you go here and you see his defense, and yeah, it's pretty decent defense for third base especially. So definitely someone worth noting.
Shout out
as
V
a
real
third
quick.
baseman.
He's putting you guys on to some like steals in the 3rd round. So like, I don't know. Shout out V for that.
And then Steve Black is the other one. And, you know, this guy kind of fucking sucks. But
more like Speed Black.
yeah, but, you know, here's the thing. This is so deceptive, though, because I know this, like, the speed is there. But when I look at this, I really look at, like, the stealing aggressiveness and stealing ability. The ability matters so much.
Yeah, the ability is,
okay,
like,
every single
the
dev
king.
lab I put for somebody for stealing ability, they've always got it.
Same for me.
Yeah,
So
it
That's
can
why I like
help.
Hopkins a lot, because he's at 65.
But getting like 15, like 80 stealing ability is like the main thing for me, like, or even 75. But you look at like who I think is maybe the best leadoff guy like in CBA history, in Corbin Anderson, right? He's regressing a bit now, right? But even when I had him,
Carl Cardinal exists.
dude, but Carl Cardinal isn't doing. I'll go to him now. Like, this is insane. The amount of stolen bases that he's able to put up, over 690 stolen bases.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. But I guess I came here to say just like this ability, like I had him with like 60 speed. This stuff didn't really change.
Yeah,
He was still
okay.
taking like 70 bags.
There's 16 stolen bases with 55 speed. That's kind of crazy.
Exactly. And I mean, if we want to, I'm actually curious because I could be wrong here. Let's look at Cardinal real quick. Even like someone like Terrell Thomas, but he has the 60 stealing ability and is nowhere even with the plus 20 speed, minus 20 ability. You can really see for like obviously stealing bags that like he's not getting anywhere near what Corbin Anderson was.
Well, it's just like it's like
Carl Cardinal's stealing the bag from Las Vegas. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Putting up two WAR.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Someone robbed the bank. Carl Cardinal. Anyways.
But to think about it, like Jose Ramirez probably has like 50 speed and like 75 stealing ability, and he gets like 40 bags a year. So like it makes sense. Like,
Yeah, it does. And then going on to shortstops, we've talked about all of them. I got Price, Tellman, and then Davis. I can see the argument for Davis over Tellman,
Davis over Tillman.
but I just don't have it.
Range doesn't range.
Yeah, I like Davis over Tillman. I like his defense.
Yeah.
Davis's defense.
And Davis's offense is better.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
actually
know.
like
I
Tellman's.
kinda like Tellman's
If you put
offense
Tellman's
better.
offense with Davis's defense, I feel
They
like
are each other mirrored. Like Davis has the eye and power. And
Let's just go to it. You know what? Let's figure this out once and for all. We got Tellman here, and then we got Joe Davis, and
it's the BABIP for me that I think is just like.
I guess there is a big sort of left. Big like bats lefty. No, they both bat lefty. This is interesting then.
Yeah.
I mean, batting lefty, like, I don't know. I like Tillman's hitting better, and you go to their defense, and I mean, yeah, you have the +5 in the arm, and then you have the shortstop stuff. You get the range here, you get the better hitting. I'm okay if you have, whoever over whoever. I got Tillman over Davis.
I would put money on Davis putting up higher zone rating than Tillman at shortstop.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Next, we got outfield. Obviously, this one has the most. One person that wasn't talked about. I'm sorry. We'll go through it. I got Murray, and then Milton, and then McKinney, then Barkley. I think these are the clear top 4. And then you got Tucker, and the one that I'm like surprised hasn't been talked about is Gabe Pass. I really like Gabe Pass. I know Jhunt isn't as big a fan as Gabe Pass, but I think you have this hitting like current. And I think this guy's I had this guy as a first round pick.
Mike did the college rankings.
Dude,
I
was fucking sober.
I think he's like more of like a DH than anything, but it's definitely the hitting.
I've seen worse play. The zone rating obviously is a little. I mean, the range is obviously a little scary, but this is like plus hitting even at like corner outfield, in general. Maybe not plus, but. I don't know. I really like this guy. His currents are pretty much filled out. There's sort of like it's kind of low risk with this guy. You know what you're getting out of him. So that's the one I'm surprised wasn't talked about. We talked about Pickles. We talked Tickles.
Regress watch. Those stats are dog shit.
We watched more Conlon, Stamper, Walburn, and then I guess the only other one that I had at the bottom of the barrel was Luke Koth, so I'm not expecting anything good here. But yeah, so this guy sucks. So I don't even know why he's on my Excel sheet, realistically.
He's a late second rounder.
Really? Can't really play defense and...
Yeah, but
he has minus 1.1 WAR in 18U.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit the. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do that. Oh. All right. And then we've talked about all these starting pitchers already, so I won't spend too much time. As I have Irvine only over Kirk because I think like strictly starting pitching wise, I think Irvine is a better pitcher than Kirk, but I have Kirk obviously as my 1-1. And then I went Corey May, who we talked about, and then Jason Howell, that very high ceiling guy that all of us seem to really like, just because of his sort of, his stats and how those are progressed. And then Nick Kenny. I think these are the only 5 like starting pitchers who are like I'd be like excited and really, really want to see how these guys go. But I'm sure there's some like other guys who will get a TCR at some point and become good. And then going to relief pitchers. This is where I think this draft is interesting. Is that I think this is a pretty deep relief pitching class. Obviously there's no, Brahmer, like, oh my god, look at this guy. This is insane. Like
we did this last podcast.
I know, and we're gonna do it this podcast again because we have the reincarnation of Corey Pellegrin on another blue themed team. But I have Sean Monroe at my 1, and we talked about Bates, we talked about Maguna. I have Jeremy Young at my 2, who I don't think was talked about. And
Young is.
I really, really like Jeremy Young as
Wow.
well. Obviously, 25 stamina.
Dude,
He's just
I
gonna
really
be a bullpen
fumbled
piece.
the bag with the college ranking. Well, okay, I missed like 3 guys.
I think Mike's problem in his defense, he sort of like did him. I feel like you did him one night, like kind of like boom, and then didn't really like look at it again.
Yeah.
Which is like fair.
You were referencing this guy during Jay Hunt's thing, so like you knew who he was.
Yeah, no, I think he's a late first round pick.
Like I have this guy going in my first. I have him as my number 2 reliever next to Sean Monroe. But if Sean Monroe looks like his OSA looks like and not what I have him as, I would have Jeremy Young as my 1. Like he's not gonna give up home runs. He's not gonna really give up walks.
No Ibarra.
Yeah, someone who just went for a second and third 2 years into their ML service. Like, this guy is going to be a great late first, and is going to bolster a bullpen. Already 65 too. Like, that's crazy. We talked about Bates. We talked about Maguna. Next one we'll go to is Jeremy Croft.
That trade I just made.
This guy's interesting. I mean, might not do anything, but like overall, like someone who's playable, I guess. I guess that's where it gets like a little less deep is when I get into these Reds into the second round. But these 53 fit minus here, 40 fit minus the year before. He's looking like a really good reliever. Oops. He did just take a hit. But yeah, kind of average. You have this guy better?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. Okay, this is what I have him closer to.
Oh wow, I do not have Croft looking like this. This is, he looks pretty sick.
If you go to his ratings, they're better too. He shows some specialty.
Yeah, a little bit in the right hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Croft, if you get him like early to like mid or early second, I think he's a pretty solid pick. This is what I have him looking
Imagine
like
your
more
nickname
as well.
is Potato.
Yes, Spud. That's some real Midwest shit right there.
Yeah, he's from Tennessee.
Next one we got is Edwin Romero.
Very similar to Croft.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are kind of just like, he's got that stuff increase sort of already. There's something about these like 2-pitch relievers where like one's 80-80 and the other one's a 50, where it's like that scares me a little bit. And I think that's where they kind of give up home runs. But not this guy. 0.5 home runs per 9. He's doing great with his 55 home runs against. But another guy where he's 22, he's pretty much filled out. You know what you're getting with him, and if you just need like a middle relief guy and you're sitting in the second round and nothing else looks interesting to you, like Edwin Romero is definitely a guy you could go to. Already a 60-60 in the PL, which I think is crazy. But
I think it's interesting that his 80-80 fastball, he throws 96-98, so he must have some like pretty insane movement on his fastball, which that's why he has that high home runs against.
This is bad, right? 14.5 hits. I guess only 17 innings, but that's interesting.
I'm surprised, like, with how good his stats are, you'd think he'd be, like, extreme ground ball with that hits per 9. Or something.
Home runs per 9. Yeah, something.
No. I mean, with the hits per 9. Like I'm saying so many hits, but he still has a good, ERA, like in Sierra.
I mean, his PRA, his PRA,
the defense
bad,
is probably
like,
the TCU infield defense must be really bad, allowing a lot of hits to go through. Is what I would expect.
Something like that. Maybe some people drafted some TCU cats last year, and Edwin Romero wasn't happy.
Was it Nick Uphold, the TCU cat?
I have no idea. But the last two here we have in the relief pitchers that I think all these guys will probably go in the second round. We have Chris Armour here. You have like this sort of high home runs against and very, very high control. Seems to do well in this engine. Obviously, the stuff isn't necessarily there, but you don't need great stuff right now. The 64 ground out percentage is pretty crazy. Obviously, he's not striking cats out, which you want in the, as a reliever. But I think lower end of relievers, like this guy's definitely draftable. He could definitely add depth to your bullpen, and like already 55-55 with like one TCR that bumps his stuff to like even 50, let's say. He just looks a lot better sort of on paper. Like this doesn't look awful at all. Like if you had this in a starting pitcher, he'd be starting in most places.
Why does he have 50 PBABIP versus lefties and righties, but
45?
He has 45. Because that maths, right?
Take the average of those two.
Yeah, and you get less.
And then the last guy I'm gonna talk about here is Devin Johnson. Devon Johnson. Yeah, his last name's Johnson. It's definitely Devon. No, it's Devin. It's 100%. Actually, you know what? I
put him head scout too. I think I have him looking kind of young.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, there we go. Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, I guess I might have this guy above Chris Armour now.
What his ratings?
But yeah, he's a lefty who obviously does better against lefties. Has that stuff. Has 2 good pitches. Has the hold runner, which you have as a lefty. He has everything you like sort of want in someone to compensate for what their ratings are. And he's 19, so who knows what could happen. He's already, pitching 97 to 99, starts pitching 98 to 100 and gets his stuff up a little bit. He's another guy that could bolster a bullpen, and lefties are a bit of a commodity right now, I'd say, in a bullpen. Mm-hmm. So if you get a lefty like this, like in the draft, like I don't think that's too bad at all. But yeah, that's pretty much everyone. This is like the snapshot of the ratings that I have. Second round is in red. But yeah, I think the 85 draft is going to be really good. Sorry that this is coming out so late. Ran into some, regular college stuff when we wanted to record on Sunday. So we're doing it now.
I would like to say, Orlando, congratulations. Orlando has 4 first-round picks, including the 9 and 10. So Orlando should be able to get his rebuild. I don't know if he's fully rebuilding, but he does have 4 first, including it's like the 9 and 10 or the 10 and 11.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah.
And 5 seconds.
And
is that?
5 seconds. 4 seconds.
Wow.
So yeah, and then also shout out New York.
Wait. Watch this too. Oh, never mind.
So
I thought he had like 6 first round picks in 86 or something like that.
Also, shout out New York. Put on New York real quick.
Do I have to?
Yeah, do it. Come on. Just look.
Yeah, I know, this is insane.
I have 2 firsts and 7 seconds.
But then we go down here, 3 firsts, and then another 4 firsts. You know,
Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
the rebuild's gonna be. I think New
The
York
rebuild's is gonna be so lackluster. He's gonna get second place in the TOC again. It'll probably be to Adam.
Dude, oh my god. I think this could be the best like rebuild of all time.
Yeah,
like
no,
Joey, like honestly, like if he this is why he's doing so much homework. You guys should have seen Jhunt this past week. Every single thing to the group chat was OTP, OTP, OTP.
Well, I mean, I have
prospects.
7 seconds, so it's like, if I want this rebuild to be good, I want all my second round picks to be PL level players.
And this is huge too, because like the last draft fell during like an OSU game day, so we were all fucking hammered.
Yeah.
So
Last
it
2
really,
drafts actually.
Yeah, so it really didn't. It really. It was bad.
I
so.
got auto drafted this guy in the first round because I was hammered. Look at this guy. In the middle of the rebuild, or at the start of the rebuild, we got Patrick Bedard. If anybody wants this guy for, oh my god. See, he's not even showing up, he's that
I
bad.
think it's Berard.
It is Berard.
Is it actually?
Yeah, just
I've
look up
never
Berard.
noticed that, no.
Nah.
Look at this guy. 124. You guys sucks. And
You know,
it was because I was hammered.
He doesn't suck though, V. I don't think he
No,
sucks.
he's a late first rounder.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. I would say like more like early to mid second, but I think this dude will be like you'll have him at first base at some point.
If anybody wants this guy, you know, second round pick would get it done. Preferably an 85.
late second?
Huh?
A late second.
Yeah. I would any like mid second and 85 would get it done instantaneously.
Can I see Ryan Bell?
Ryan Bell sucks.
Wow, Ryan Bell sucks.
Yeah. Ryan Bell would be like the catcher too, though.
Well, does
But yeah.
anyone else have any other?
Yeah,
I think
second
we
comments.
all us three, I think our favorite part of the CBA is the draft. So we're all super excited. And please, if you're on the clock, don't take 4 hours to draft. No, it's okay. Like I understand, but just like, you know, maybe like make it a priority to draft. That way it doesn't take 3
So you can
days
get
for
to your
the first
7
round.
second
Yes,
round picks.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, guys. Any last
We hope you
thoughts?
enjoyed.
All right. All right.
No, I had something.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
No.
All right, good job,
No,
Mike.
there was something I was trying to say before. I just.
He'll text it in the Discord.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll hopefully get this out to you. We finished recording this at 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time on
Wednesday.
January 29th, and we'll hopefully get this out to you by the end of January 29th.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. If you like this video, smash that share button. Okay, end it.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Bye, guys.